What's good, y'all? Welcome to my review for this week's episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Golden Wind. Okay, so apologies for the delay because this review's going up a lot later than I usually do. Been busy. I actually meant to do this earlier today, but I went to go see Dr. Sleep today. Overall, fantastic. I definitely want you guys to check that out. So yeah. This episode was amazing, and it was nice to finally get some context for something a friend of mine last year, maybe the year before that, because that was when Stardust Crusaders was airing. He actually showed me this picture from Golden Wind of Giorno putting the lighter inside that piece of bread, and I remember looking at it. He asked me, like, and obviously it was complete out of context. He didn't tell me anything about it. He asked me, what do you think happened here? And I was like, is the sandwich a stand and the lighter is its weakness or something? And he just said, no, I tried to do good, but I never came up with the fact that some fat guy came over to Giorno and told him, hey man, I need you to do something to prove that you are a trustworthy individual, Giorno. Make sure this lighter stays lit for 24 hours. I remember being like, I did not think of that until when we finally got the context of this episode. Ariel was like, oh, that's why he had the lighter inside the bread. Seriously, JoJo out of context is fucking hilarious when you ask people, like, what do you think happened in this scene where you don't give any context? It's fucking hilarious, because I was, of course, it's great for the JoJo fan that's someone that's looking at me like some schmuck that hasn't read or watched Golden Wind yet, and I'm just like, it's amazing. Absolutely amazing. So, anyway, without further ado, guys, let's just jump right in. So we start this episode off exactly where we left off last week with Giorno and Bruno talking about, of course, Giorno saying, look, I'm gonna be a primo mafioso, I'm gonna be the Hokage, all that shit. So, and then we see some kids playing some soccer. Oh, I'm sorry, excuse my dumb Americanness. Football, excuse me, it's pronounced football. Sorry, excuse me. So these kids are playing some football or soccer, whatever the fuck you call it. And, Bruno and Giorno, they're talking, and then actually, Bruno says he'll join the team, but he says that, if it ever comes out about what your plan is to, of course, take over the become the, primo mafioso and all that shit, he's gonna cut ties for you because the traitor stands alone. And then the footballer, he ends up hitting Bruno in the chest, or in the back, in his back. So Bruno just comes over there and kicks it right back to the kids. From there, we get over there, from there, Bruno explains while they're making their way over to this prison, which is where the capo is for Giorno to, of course, start the interview to get introduced to the mafioso, or to the mafia, whatever, to get introduced there. He explains a little bit about the mafioso they're going to be doing. This kid is called, fuck, I can't remember the name of it! Shit! It was a Primoso or some shit, like something along those lines. It was something Italian. Shit, I'm legit pissed off that I can't remember its name. Damn it. Damn. Fuck, why can't I remember it? Anyway. Shit! Alright, okay, yeah. So he tells the name, says it's their name, but that's not the boss's real name. And in fact, this mafia is like a little what we see at other times where no one knows what he really looks like. Nobody knows his real name. The man lives in the shadows, i.e., he's the main villain of this part. That pretty much screams he will become the main villain of this part. That's at least what it says to me. I could be wrong on that, but that's what it comes off to me. It sounds like he's going to be the main villain of this part. Anyway, so Giorno. So they get over there to the prison, which is where, and also explaining that there's a bunch of that the orders are conducted through a bunch of capos, essentially informants from the mafioso, and it's from the mafioso to get to the other subordinates to tell them what they're going to do. And the capo that Giorno's going to be going is, of course, a guy called Popo. And they get there, which is a prison. Giorno's like, wait, this is a prison, fam. Why are we at a prison? And he says that Popo was found guilty and sentenced to 15 years imprisonment. The dude could leave whenever the fuck he pleases, but he chooses not to. So that's why he stayed here. And he says that the answers you're looking for will be here, and that it's no different from a normal interview, but Popo's move will determine where the testing goes. So. He also tells them that it's imperative that you pass and not to find out about you. So he gets in there. Of course, he gets patted down by security. After he's done with that, he leads him to his room. And now his room reminds me a lot of Loki's room from Thor: The Dark World. From you guys that remember that one, it's it's pretty much it's like he has a bed, and then we see a toilet and just some other random knickknacks and shit that surround the room with a clear glass window. Separating it from the hallway, which is where they'll be talking to him. So then the bed transforms. It transforms into Popo. So Popo can transform into bed, and the dude is like 600 pounds, damn near as tall. Up in terms of height, he's damn near as tall as the roof. You know where the roof is. He's damn near that tall. And Giorno's like, the fuck? What the hell? What the hell? I thought that was a bed. You know what the hell? And then Popo explains a little bit about himself, telling him that I already know about you. He also grabs out some wine. He says that it was he says some shit in Italian. I can't remember exactly what he said, but I'm assuming it means like perfection, because he says that this wine goes amazing with some crackers, and when you have it with some crackers, it's damn near perfection, or whatever the hell he said in Italian. So, and then George says, I can't, and he also, because the security people said that, Giorno tells him that, he can't accept anything from him, or that he can't give him anything. So, just like the security said, they're saying that, if you give them anything, it's strictly forbidden. So, from there, Giorno's like, okay, he's like, what people say, what people say when they're being watched, and what they say, when nobody's watching, two different things. Then he hits a button, revealing there's this little, revealing this slot that reveals a TV, a teddy bear, I think a football was in there, an American football, and then 3 pistols and a box of ammunition for it. Giorno's like, what? And he's more or less concerned how the hell no one has found him, and how the hell, that the man could legitimately leave as anywhere he wants because of how big he is. But he says, but to be honest, with that carcass, it's probably better off he stays in there, than being outside in the outside world. He's more concerned how the fuck they got him through the door, So, from there, Popo then tells him, then starts, having just joined his wine, with some crackers, and then we see the dude legit munching on his fingers. Yeah, that was shocking, to say the least. The man was here shouting on his fingers, and he actually bites off a couple. Now, one thing I noticed is that there was some shading still there, in the color especially swap this time. Now, I'm assuming that was done for censorship, which makes you kind of weird, wondering, because, when JoJo, now granted, there has been a couple times where there's censorship has been used with JoJo, occasionally with, Part 4, there has been some censorship, but usually most of the time it's uncensored, but I'm assuming this is, some censorship, there, that was showing from the shade, because it looked a little out of place. And then Giorno's like, why is he munching on his fingers? And then he looks over to, this cuckoo clock he has. Yes, the dude has a fucking cuckoo clock. What is this, the 50s? So then he looks over the cuckoo clock, and then he looks over back at Popo, and Popo's just sitting there drinking his wine with a lighter in his hand, and his fingers are all completely intact. So he's like, am I hallucinating, or because I just saw him munching on his fingers. Giorno also thinks that he could also be another one of those stand users. So then, while Popo is wrestling against some shit out of his teeth, he asks, this is right before he does that. He says, and then he says, gives him this riddle. What is the most important thing when you separate the wheat from the calf? And Giorno answers he says, think carefully, Giovanni. He says, what one person can do. Is that right? Oh, so what could you do, Bergazzo? She said some shit in Italian, like excuse me if I don't remember the Italian, because I don't speak Italian. So he says, what can you do? Giorno puts his arms up, and then a shit ton of money and IDs, then some money and an ID come out. The ID from that woman. The woman security guard says, while she's patting me down, I took a couple souvenirs, but of course I'll give them back once I leave. We didn't really see Giorno actually give it back to her. At least not from what we could see. Maybe he did it somewhere off screen. I don't know how he did something, because we didn't even see him take her ID either. So the man could have put it in there while he was, holding the light. I don't know, but whatever the case may be. Then he also says, what else can you do? And then he says, also, I can put my ear into my ear canal. Does that ear trick he did? So he's like, oh. But he says, but he says, I forget exactly what it was. I forget exactly what he did. Said it was like, diligence and intelligence can only are useful or like useless if they're not trustworthy, and that's the most important thing he's looking for is trust. So then he opens up this lighter, or it opens up like this little like thing on his door, which reveals a lighter. He tells him to hold this lighter for 24 hours. Do not let the flame extinguish, or of course, or he'll fail the test. And he says, and he quotes this one thing that's actually like a very interesting good quote. He says, from the 17th century theologian Fuller, he who is my friend will speak kindly of me behind my back. That's such a great quote. I must say, that's such an amazing quote. So then he goes over there to grab the lighter. The flame starts to go, start moving around a little bit. He says, Verde, exercise supreme caution. And if you take my words lightly and doze off, or if you sneeze, or if a gust of wind takes out that light, I will know without a shadow of doubt you are not trustworthy enough to join our familia. So, go in there, Giorno, and 24 hours. He has 24 hours. He has to hold this light for 24 hours till 3 p.m. tomorrow, and then if he gets it there by that time, the man's in. Easy peasy, right? Well, this is JoJo. Of course, it's not fucking easy. Which we'll get to that in a second. So then Giorno goes to pick up the lighter very carefully, uses both hands, slowly gets over. He grabs it with one hand. He has his other hand covering the flame, so make sure no wind doesn't win. And he kind of holds it to like a side. He's like, okay. And then when the security guy says, all visitors will have to go through the gate for a file pat down to make sure they didn't grab anything from the convict. So Giorno's like, shit! How am I gonna get there? And then the woman comes out, starts approaching him. He's like, wait, didn't Popo tell you anything? They get their guns are up and they're ready to fire. They're like, oh shit! And he's like, get up, put your hands up now. We will search you now. He's like, shit! I thought he bought off these cops. Well, apparently not. Of course, this is JoJo. Nothing is that simple. So then we come back from commercial. After we get back from commercial, the woman starts to approach him, and Giorno is like wondering, fuck. What the hell do I do? And I'm at the edge of my seat. Like I mentioned this before, but I will say it again. Araki is the Alfred Hitchcock of anime, or manga, I should say, because he's a mangaka. This man can make this I have never been so on the edge of my seat more times I have with JoJo, especially with I mentioned with Kira in part 4 when he was hiding in those thing in the gymnasium. Back when the thing was Hayato and Kira around the end of the part 4. I feel there's another moment from part 4 I'm missing, but that and also this. I'm constantly on the edge of my seat wondering oh shit, is Giorno gonna get in there? Is Kira gonna get his thing? Is Hayato gonna leave with his life? But there's so much crazy shit. JoJo is so amazing with suspense. So Giorno thinks of some plan to get out there. So then he decides to just close his fist around the lighter and just put his thumb over the flame. Not enough to where it extinguishes it, obviously, but enough to where he can see it. But enough where you can't see it. And then you can kind of see the smoke kind of emanate from. So the dude's probably burning his thumb as we speak. And so then he slowly makes his way over there, and she starts patting him down. Everything's good. I'm surprised he didn't say, "Oh, you're having fun there." I'm surprised he didn't say that. The man was so nervous. You can see the man was sweating. And then he says, "All right, you're good." So then he puts his hands down. She grabs it instantly, but first, open the palms of your hands. And I'm like, "Oh shit! What do you got? What are you gonna do, Giorno? What is your plan of attack?" So then he opens up his right hand, revealing a flower. And she's like, "No, if this is the worst thing you got, then you can have it back." So then he leaves, and then the flower reforms back into the lighter. He said that he used the petals or the flame itself. And he's like, whew, that was too close for comfort. So then he slowly makes his way over back to, I'm assuming his dorm? So, because we know the kid's 15, so he's about in high school. So he's living in these high school dorms. He gets over there, and Jordan right here kind of comes off like an asshole a little bit. Well, we know why he's not doing, but I can imagine these guys were, where he kind of came off a little dickish here. So you got these soccer players, or football players. Football players. They're all like stacked up, and he's like, "Hey man, can you hit the shutter button?" Which is, I'm assuming the shutter button means like the camera button, to take a picture. He says, not now. And then this old guy is carrying all this janitor equipment. He's like, "Hey, Sonny, could you give me a hand?" He's like, "Sorry, not now." And I'm like, these guys probably think Jordo's like the biggest asshole ever. He makes his way over, so he makes his way back to his apartment, or his dorm, excuse me. He gets in there, grabs a loaf of bread, cuts it up a little bit, and puts the lighter in there. So now I finally know the context of that scene of why the hell there was a lighter inside a piece of bread. Like, seriously, I was so confused when my friend showed me that. I was like, "What? Nani?" Like, what the hell's going on? So then he puts it in there, and then he puts like a bookshelf and some other stuff near it to make sure that, as well as I think an alarm clock as well, near the flame, so that no gust of wind will come over there to extinguish the flame. So from there, then Jonah's like, "Oh shit, I better check to make sure the window's closed." And I was like thinking to myself, imagine this window immediately opens, and it's like a fucking typhoon comes rushing in through the window with the power of the wind, with that wind power. Like, I was just feeling like a typhoon to get in. I was like a Rocky telling Jordan to go fuck himself, because the Rocky there's a Rocky trolling him. But then, not that, but then someone opens the door, and it's Koichi. Yes, our boy Koichi is once again making another cameo appearance in this episode, which I always appreciate. Y'all know how much I love Koichi. So Koichi is in there looking for his passport. Because, he already knows that Giorno sold off his shit. But he thought that maybe not his passport, because, sending, a personal passport probably takes a little bit more to sell. So he's hoping that he still had it. Somewhere, So he starts looking around, trying to figure out. Giorno by this point is outside holding this pipe. He's looking outside his window, trying to figure out, see what Koichi's doing. So then Koichi's looking around. He can't find. He's looking for his passport. Then he's wondering, as soon as he sees the light, he's gonna turn it off because he thinks he's gonna be a fire hazard. So then, and then the area where Giorno still has his passport. He was gonna give it back to him. The area where he has his passport is the area near where the fire is. So Koichi's looking around. Giorno has golden wind. Punches like this electrical outlet. It rushes over to the lamp there. The lamp turns into a snake. And the snake comes in over there and grabs a piece of bread with the lighter still in there. And from there, the snake kind of pulls it up. It ends up burning the snake a little bit. He drops it. I'm shocked the flame didn't go up from that. Koichi manages to catch the piece of bread, and then he opens the thing, and it opens one of the little cupboards there by the fire, and reveals his passport. He's like, "Yes, I found my passport." And it was very Zelda-like, where the he was doing the pose and everything. You're only missing the sound effect. And from there, but then the lighter accidentally ends up lighting the passport. Koichi starts, ferrying the passport a little bit to make sure the flame doesn't, catch fire. He does, and he leaves. By that point, he's about to look at the fire again, but then the lighter's gone, and he's like, "I could have sworn there was a lit lighter here." And then we see Giorno holding the lighter, and he's like, "Whew! Finally, made it." And then, in super slow motion, we see this water come appearing out of nowhere. Giorno manages to dodge it, and it's the old guy who's like, "Oh, sorry there, Sonny. Sorry, I almost gave you an unwelcome shower." And then he starts mopping the place down. Giorno checks his hands, and the lighter has been deflated. The lighter has been turned off. Giorno's like, "No!" Obviously, he's not that exaggerated, but he's like, "Damn it! What am I gonna do?" He's like, "Oh, should I just grovel? But if that was the point, I probably wouldn't be doing this shit. Fuck, what do I do?" And then the old guy's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. He's like, did I break your lighter? It looks fine to me." And he says, "Sorry, this doesn't concern you." He then goes over there and tries to think of his next move. And then the dude comes over there. He puts the lighter to his ear, and it says that it's still extinguishing out the fuel to how to make the lighter turn off. He puts it to his ear, and you can hear the tss. And it's like, "Oh, it's fine." He turns it back on, and then A huge like flame comes out. You think he's like, man, is this a lighter or a blowtorch? You know. And then he gives it back to Giorno. Giorno's like, no, how is this possible? How is it turned back on? There's got to be something wrong. There's got to be something here. And then Giorno looks ahead of him, and we see a stand. Giorno thinks that's Popo's stand. He goes over to the old man, and then his spirit gets out of his body. He's like, you have rekindled the flame. You have two paths. Either become one of the chosen or die. You will feel my arrow. And out comes a stander out its mouth. He pierces it, and the dude died because he can't take it. So he ends up getting thrown back into his body. Giorno catches it, he says, and then Giorno tries to back away. He's like, you too have extinguished, have reignited the flame. You will feel my arrow. And it comes over to Giorno, and that is where the episode ends. So, overall, this episode was fucking fantastic, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely super suspenseful. I loved it. Mr. Popo, I love the English voice they got from him. I love Giorno. I'm really digging Giorno. I would say I like him as much as say Jotaro or Josuke or Joseph, but I'm really digging Giorno. I definitely can't wait to see more of him, and especially when we get to the 7-page Muda. That's gonna be hype. So yeah, guys, hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you like, if you did, subscribe. Oh, and also, by the way, followers, I'm gonna give this episode a 10 out of 10. So hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you like, if you did, subscribe for new. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, flag, at least in the description box below. And as always, come back for more. See you guys next time.